Finally, Let Me Cook Wrestling has come back to YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry. I've had a holiday here, holiday there. What? A new job. What? An exam. What? I failed the exam. What? Listen, it's been a busy few weeks, but the final boss is back to give content on your head tops. First of all, I want to shout out my boy NG underscore NG13 for saying he was missing the content. Well, here we got some content on the way. Well, the Smackdown review is now here. So first of all, we had a Hulk Hogan tribute. We got a 10-bell salute. Now, this ain't the time and place for, a lot of people have personal feelings saying this and that. Listen, wrestling is my first love. Wrestling is my only love. And it wouldn't be what it was and what it is without the Hulkster, the immortal, the Hulkster. He is the OG superstar, the OG promo cutter, the OG character, the OG mainstream guy, the OG guy that broke into the mainstream from the world of professional wrestling. He main evented the first ever main event of WrestleMania. Sorry, I said main event twice. Alongside Mr. T. I pity the fool. He arguably, the birth of sports entertainment was WrestleMania 3 when he slammed Andre the Giant on his head top. We can't forget these things. We can't forget these things. The biggest heel turn of all time was the Hulkster. NWO, Bash at the Beach 1996. Kids were crying, rubbish was getting thrown in the ring, them ones there. And then WCW proceeded to whoop WWE for the next 20 weeks or 2 years or whatever it was. This is influential stuff. Spectacle. Immortal. Yeah? The Rock. WrestleMania 18, people loved him and missed him so much that they wouldn't let the man turn heel. They turned him face in a WrestleMania, upper card main event. That match should have main evented. He tried to run over The Rock in a car. No. It was a truck. It was a truck while The Rock was sat in a car, and these men still cheered him. That's how much they missed him. That's how much they loved him. That's how much of an influence he had on the fans of professional wrestling. If you're into professional wrestling because your older brother, what? Or your dad, what? Or your granddad, what? One of them, whether it was the older brother or his dad, it started with Hulk Hogan. So whether you grew up with Randy Orton, Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, John Cena, Cody Rhodes, for the younger fans out there, listen, you can't forget the impact this man has had on the business. Shout out Hulk Hogan. Rest in peace, brother. Now into the show. This show was mid. This is a joke. You know what? This break I've had, I've been watching wrestling. I didn't watch the full show. Sometimes I had to skip through. It's been pretty busy. But what did I miss? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Okay, let's get into it. One thing at a time. Logan Paul comes out, which I thought was a nice touch because after, a tribute and someone's passed away, it's quite sad. It'd be quite weird to get someone to come out and for everyone to cheer them. So what do? They get Logan Paul come out and everyone's already, in a mood. He gets booed. He gets booed very hard. And Logan Paul did a really funny thing. And he said, "Oh, you guys were thanking me 10 seconds ago. Thank you, Logan, was it?" Obviously, everyone was saying thank you, Hogan. So that's pretty funny. He said he's from Cleveland. He said he made the city and he made it out, but the fans didn't. And then out comes Jelly Roll. And I'm gonna be real. Okay. Jelly Roll comes out. Logan Paul says, "I get to tag in a 6'7" monster beast like Drew McIntyre, and Randy Orton gets to tag in you." And then Jelly Roll hits like the most cliche, weak, cheap pop babyface promo I've ever seen. This is like no effort went into this promo. He said he's representing the poor kids, the people who got picked on, the people who got picked on by bullies, by jocks at school. This is basic. This is a cheap pop, and clearly no one even attempted to give these guys something to fight about. And yeah, out comes Randy Orton. Jelly Roll sang his song a little bit for some reason. Randy Orton came out, they had a brawl, and that's that. And this segment as a whole, and the fact that this is happening at SummerSlam, is actually disrespectful to pro wrestling. I'll be real. It's disrespectful to pro wrestling because The Miz is one thing, yeah. Normally, The Miz is brought in to help these celebrities, and with his status in the card at present and his how often he's in the ring, it kind of makes sense. He's very safe. He's always doing this outside of WWE stuff. You know, he's got his little golf YouTube thing going on. He's hosting gladiators. He's doing stuff here and there. He's not wrestling as much anymore. Although I think he should. I think The Miz can elevate anybody, and I think his mic skills are top tier, top 10, top 20. I'm not even joking. Yeah. And I think I think if you gave him enough time, like consistency in feuds and on TV, he could do that. But that's not that's not where WWE see him at the moment, and that I understood. His celebrity involvement's there. He always made people look good. He got people to cheer Logan Paul at one point. That's how good he is. No one else has done it since, I don't think. But here, you've got Randy Orton, 14-time world champion. You've got Drew McIntyre, had the feud of the year last year with CM Punk. Had the match of the year as well, debatably, in Hell in a Cell. And now they're fighting Jelly Roll and Logan Paul at SummerSlam. Not a B show, not a C show, not a D show, not a house show, not Saturday Night's Main Event. It's at the second biggest show of the year. This is disrespectful to pro wrestling, man. I've had enough of this, bro. I've had enough. Fair enough, you're putting The Miz in that position. You're going to put Randy Orton in that position? Come on, man. This guy was fighting John Cena for the WWE Championship a few months ago. And he was telling Cody Rhodes he's going to whoop his ass if he becomes champion and if he has to. He lost King of the Ring. Wait. He lost King of the Ring and he was pissed. He wanted that world title. He almost punted Cody in the head and, he regretted it. And then Cody used him in the... I watched Night of Champions. I was away, but I watched Night of Champions while I was on holiday. I was in Cyprus, sat next to the pool. Cody pushed him into an exposed turnbuckle. Randy showed mercy, and he was pissed leaving that ring. And now he's fighting Jelly Roll. What happened to that? See, the more you think about, the more loyal you are, and the more often you watch, yeah, the more your intelligence gets insulted. Because we just dropped that. Randy doesn't care anymore. He's going to fight a celebrity. Okay, right. This is disrespectful to pro wrestling. I've had enough. I'm going to fight when I fight at SummerSlam, it's not going to be disrespectful to pro wrestling. I'll tell you that for free. Next, we had Roxanne Perez versus Alexa Bliss. This was pointless. This match was about 2 minutes long, 3 minutes long. There was a botch in there somewhere because Alexa was busted open. Her nose, hopefully she gets well soon, but her nose was covered in blood. I don't care. I can't even remember who won this match. I think it was Roxanne. I think they cheated, but who cares? At least Alexa and Charlotte are a good team, but this Judgment Day needs to end. Now we're getting them on both shows, on Smackdown and Raw. How long are you going to drag this out? Dominic's doing nothing with the IC title. Finn is in the ground. JD doing nothing. We're just sticking tag titles on them for no reason. Stop dragging it out. It's done. It's over. It's embarrassing, man. They got nothing to do for them. That's why they've just kept them in there, just dragging it out. Someone needs to break up with someone. Someone needs to turn face. Someone needs to just do something. Next, we had another pointless segment. We had Jade Cargill backstage in a promo, in an interview. That promo was about 10 seconds long. She said she's going to show everyone at SummerSlam how she was born to be a natural champ, and then walked away. And I was like, what? That's it? That's all we're going to get? Then Chelsea Green pops into shot and says she was screwed out of Queen of the Ring because if you remember, her qualifying match went to someone from Secret Service, either Piper or Alba Fire. She starts taking the mick out of Jade, saying, how can she win the title? I would win the title. La 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 la. And then Jade Cargill comes back into shot, forearms her pretty hard, and then Fireman carries her all the way to the ring. For some reason, this is enough to make a match because a referee happened to be in the ring. They have a match. It was a squash. It was over in 30 seconds. Then the Secret Service comes out to beat up Jade. And for some reason, her opponent, Tiffany Stratton, comes out to help her. Why would you do that? Tiffany's barely a babyface, man. She's barely a baby. What did she actually change since she was a heel and she was with Nia Jax and cashed in? She didn't actually change anything. She just started to fight bad guys, but she didn't actually change anything. So why would you help the person who's fighting you for your title at SummerSlam in a week? Also, let's not forget that this SummerSlam has had 2 weeks of build. 2 weeks because we're having pay-per-view after pay-per-view after pay-per-view after pay-per-view and Saturday night's main event, which is a house show. What are we doing? This is the second biggest show of the year. You've got it for 2 nights. 2 nights. And we're just throwing matches together, man. Come on, man. And we get Charlotte and Alexa backstage, everyone's new favorite couple. They're quite funny, to be fair. This is the only new thing that's come out of WWE recently that's actually quite enjoyable. I like the dynamic. Charlotte's a bit, mean girl, doesn't really like her, might start to like her. Alexa's trying her best. Charlotte's very clear that they're not friends. Alexa's nose was bloody. Charlotte said this can't happen at SummerSlam. And Alexa said, oh, are we partners now? And then Charlotte said, after SummerSlam, I'll think about it. So, she's starting to like her, They might become a functioning team soon enough. And please take the titles off the Judgment Day. Next we have the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. He comes out and he thanks Hulk Hogan, as he would. He's the face of the company. He's the spokesperson. He thanks Hogan. He says, thanks him for all his contributions to the business. And then he moves his attention to the WWE champion, John Cena. And this promo was way too short. It didn't take very long. And all the promos, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know what they're doing, but everyone's promos is about 30 seconds today. I'm not sure why. Maybe Logan got the most time out of everyone. He said he wants the classic John Cena. He said he wants Cena to talk to Stu at the top of the ramp. He said he wants Cena to run down the entranceway into the ring, throw his hat into the crowd. He said he wants the Cena with hustle, loyalty, respect, and he wants to beat it out of him. And now, if this, there's a part of me that wants to think that maybe Cena will, or by the end of the show, he will. And if he does, Cody has to turn heel. But I'm starting to think that a lot of Triple H's booking is he teases things, he drags things out, and then there's never a payoff. So everyone wants this to happen. I hope it happens, but I'm not sure if I can see it happening. It would be great, though. Let's see. It's a street fight. Anything could happen. Cody could hit a low blow. Cody could use a steel chair. Cody could, rectify the mistake he made at WrestleMania by not hitting him with the title. Let's see what happens. Then we have Jacob Fatu cutting a promo backstage. Now, this promo is quite interesting because earlier what I said about The Miz, they gave him, 15, 20 seconds of mic time. And he smashed it out the park because Fatu was cutting a promo and he was interrupted by The Miz. And The Miz said, this is my hometown. I've been away since you took me out. And I've realized that the old Miz needs to return. Because I'm The Miz and I'm awesome. And he slapped Jacob Fatu in the face. Now, anyone who does that is instantly cold because you don't slap that man in the face, bro. That's a death wish right there. So anyway, those two go out to the ring. Miz is out, Jacob's out. Match starts and it's been about 30 seconds and you hear bum 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 banger. Out comes the Bloodline. It's called the Bloodline. They're dragging out the Bloodline, but I think they're trying to call it the Family Tree or something right now. This is also getting dragged out for way too long. Bear in mind, do you guys remember that this time last year, I think it was around Crown Jewel last year, Solo Sikoa pinned Roman Reigns. He pinned a man who hasn't been pinned, he's been pinned twice in 4 years at the time. Solo pinned him. They gave that pin to Solo, and they haven't done anything with him. He's only just won the US title a year later, and he's not doing anything on his own. He's still dragging out the Bloodline. What are we doing? This is getting embarrassing, bro. So anyway, these guys interfered. Jacob Fatu was beating up everyone. And then he pinned The Miz. Okay, this is what the company think of The Miz, unfortunately. But he pinned him with a pop-up Samoan drop. Not the moonsault. He pinned him with a pop-up Samoan drop. That's a mid-match move, man. He pinned him with that. And then the Bloodline finally got the numbers up. And then beat down Jacob Fatu in the middle of that ring. Next, we have the Streets Profits and DIY backstage. They have a little argument. DIY says they need to fix the mess that they made, i.e. the mess that the Street Profits made, by winning the tag team titles once again. This, is a bit of a nothing promo, but because of what happens later, fine. There's a bit of tension in the Smackdown locker room with the tag team division. So I'm going to say. Then we see the return, or is it the debut of Kiana James? Didn't she get drafted? I want to say it wasn't this draft. Was there even a draft this year? Who came up? Yeah, Roxanne came up. Hula came up. It was a year ago. I'm pretty sure she came up when Bron Breakker did after Mania 40. And she's finally shown up on TV. She might have debuted once, like at the time, and then left. They finally found something for her to do. And I think she was quite good, to be honest. It was not a very long promo. She just was acting as representative for Julia, or Julia, however you say it, as when Selena Vega was asking her for a rematch for the Women's United States Championship. That's all there is to say about that. We'll see where that goes. But these 30-second, 1-minute promos, like, what do they do on this show? I'm so confused. How do they fill up 2.5 hours? All the promos are a couple minutes. They show 10 recaps. There was a recap of like Punk Gunther. There was a recap of Aleister Black and Damian Priest. There was a recap of like tag people. What? This is like so lazy. There's barely any content. Give us content! Now we have the main event, which is the Wyatt Six versus Andrade and Rey Fenix. That is your main event of SmackDown before SummerSlam, ladies and gentlemen, or two SmackDowns before SummerSlam. That is your main event. That is how we've fallen off in this industry. Like, you couldn't have given us Randy v. Drew. They're in a tag match at SummerSlam, so why don't you just give us the 1v1? The Wyatt Sucks came out. So did Andrade and Rey. It wasn't very long until this happened. Once again, the match was really short. I don't know what they're doing. Like, how are people who are paying for tickets go to these arenas and get 2 3-minute matches, 2 3-minute promos, and what? Are they just sitting there watching recaps the whole time? What are they doing? Or are they getting dark matches? How are you filling 2.5 hours with this? That match was not very long at all. It got to a point where Andrade hit his finisher on one of the members of the Wyatt Six. Rey Fenix went and took out the other guy from the outside. Going for the pin. 1, 2. Nikki Cross pulls out the referee, and then they get DQ'd. And that was a tag team championship match ending. Screwy finish, DQ finish. Tag titles are still with the Wyatt Six. And then, for some reason, all the tag teams in SmackDown division came out. Every single one of them. There's 6 of them, was it? DIY, Andrade Rey Fenix is there, Wyatt Six, Street Profits, who the hell? Oh, Fraxium and Motor City Machine Guns. The best thing to come out of this show is finally, after all that beef, Adam Pearce came out and he said, "I've had enough of you lot." And Adam Pearce is actually really funny because he's just always so stressed. He plays the stressed manager so well. He's like a teacher who can't control the classroom. And I think it's hilarious seeing him get stressed out at everyone. He came out, he's had enough, and he put them in a 6-team TLC match at the pay-per-view, not at the SmackDown before the pay-per-view like they did at Mania. They're at the pay-per-view, they're at SummerSlam. Congratulations to the SmackDown Tag Division. They deserve it. I'm sure WWE, listened to the fans, all realised that they deserve it because they smashed that TLC match out the park. I think it was after WrestleMania, sorry. Yeah, they're going to be on the show. That's probably going to be the best match of the night. Give them 20 minutes, give them 15, 20 minutes. That is probably one of the only things I'm looking forward to this SummerSlam. Yeah, I think that's fair. This SummerSlam's either cooked or it's going to be insane. It's all dependent on the booking. Like, Cena Cody could be an all-timer if booked right. If it's and it has to be nothing like their WrestleMania match. Absolutely nothing like it. So we'll see how that goes. This TLC match could cook if they give it enough time and don't overstack the card. You know what? I was looking forward to Solo Jacob, but the more I think about it, I know it's in a steel cage, but realistically, it's just going to be bloodline interference. So I don't think that match is going to cook. Dom versus AJ. I hate to say it, and AJ Styles is my favourite wrestler. I've not seen a good AJ or Dom match in a while. So that I would have looked forward to that. Is there much else? Orton, I ain't looking forward to that celebrity tag match, tell you that. Becky Lyra for the see, those two could have a good match. Becky Lyra could have a good match, but every single match they have ends in a roll-up. They're great wrestlers, but they all end in a roll-up. So if we get a determinative victory and, not a roll-up, back and forth good match, they're great wrestlers, it could go well. CM Punk Gunther. I'm looking forward to that. And I reckon that's the only match that might not, okay, touch wood. That's the only match that might not suffer from bad booking, because Punk Gunther, these men are going to cook. These men have been doing house shows for some reason. I guess they know each other quite well now. Yeah, but if this Seth injury angle is fake and he cashes in on Punk, I'm gonna be pissed. But that might be the right kind of is it the right kind of heat? Because I don't agree with Seth being this whole Seth Rollins fake bloodline storyline overall. So maybe it's the wrong kind of heat. It's the right kind of heat if he does it on Punk, because I'm really gonna be pissed at him. But I'd rather it be someone else. It's Seth Rollins I have a problem with doing this at this time. I know CM Punk's a similar age, if not older, but this whole Seth Rollins storyline has made no sense. And I will get to that at some point.